All right, Shalom. First off, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ukakadash, the Balana set apostles and elders up in Great Millstone, and the sincere peace and salutations to all the Akim that's pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. It's the brother Ganar from the DC camp, your fellow servant, coming back at you with another video. And as you can see, the spirit is on, the time of the season that we're living in right now. Again, we're approaching another day of Christopher Columbus Day, so we're going to go ahead and hop on that subject. This is Isaiah 14:21. It says, "Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant, and son and nephew, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua." Right. Lord's will, I entitled this video, "Prepare slaughter for the iniquities, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers." Because if you go to any so-called white person, which we know their true nationality is the Edomites according to the scriptures, then they're going to say, well, that wasn't us. I wasn't born back then. I didn't do that. Even then, that's what we talking about right now is the atrocities that was done on our brothers. The tribe of Gad, the tribe of Reuben, the so-called Native Americans. And also what happened to the Judites. Judah, Benjamin, Levi. What happened to all the tribes, man? Esau had a hand of destroying all the tribes, And right now, what we're talking about is Christopher Columbus. And I got this article right now where it says, "The Truth About Christopher Columbus" by Mark Anthony Rollo. This was written last year, October 9th, 2017. It says, for the past 80 years since Columbus Day became a federal holiday in 1937, we have celebrated an explorer who engaged in enslavement, outright theft, and genocide of this hemisphere's indigenous people." Right, so you're celebrating a murderer, man. And that's why the scriptures say, "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers." It says that he engaged in outright enslavement. And this is Revelations 13, verse 9. And it says, "If any man have an ear, let him hear." If you can understand and perceive what the scripture is saying, then let you understand, let you get what's going on. It says, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patient in the faith of the saints." Right, and this is what Christopher Columbus did. This must come back upon him, and then based off the logic of what the so-called white people would say today, well, that wasn't us. That's not who, I don't agree with what he was doing, or so on, so on, so forth. Then they were not understand what this is talking about, because then that would say then Christopher Columbus will have to go into captivity, and that's why the scriptures say, "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers." You have to pay the bill of your father, man. And if you want to go deeper, you are your father in the reincarnation, but we're not even going to go there because that's going to go over a lot of people's head, but and Esau knows this too, because say if you or your parent die with a debt to Esau, the next family member has to pay that debt. That debt don't just go because your family member died. It stays with you. It stays in the family. Someone else has to pay that burden, and that's the same thing that you have to do. You have to pay that burden. So as it said, since Columbus Day became a federal holiday in 1937, we have celebrated an explorer who engaged in enslavement. Right. It says, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity." So you shall go into captivity. It says, outright theft and genocide of this hemisphere's indigenous people. Now, that's killing by the sword, you know. And if you kill by the sword, then you must be killed by the sword. So if you go back to Isaiah 14 and read 22, it says what? For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant and the son and the nephew, saith the Lord. So all of you going to be cut off, you know. Christopher Colon, you know, who we know as Christopher Columbus, is a so-called Edomite, man. I mean, Salaki, a so-called white man who is the Edomites. And if you go, let me get this. This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. And if you go look up Esau in this book, one second. Yeah, this is Edom, the Edomites. It says the nation and its people who were the descendants of Esau, he founded the country, so his name is equated with Edom. The country is also called Seir. Let me see. Let me find Esau. I found Edom. We just go to Esau. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, okay. When you look into this, I don't know why I can't find it right now. That's Satan. Matter of fact, yeah, Salaki, I'm not going to hold it up because I'm skipping over pages. I'm messing up. But listen, Esau was the only nation that was given no repentance by the Lord, you know. So in 1,000 years, you're going to be eradicated from the face of the earth because of what you've done to the Israelites, man. And as it says, the so-called indigenous people, that's talking about our brothers Gad and Reuben, and this is the prophecy that Jacob told his sons of the things that will befall them in this day. This is Genesis 49 verse 1. It says, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. You know, and this is let me find Gad real quick. Yeah, verse 19 says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Right. You know, this is what happened, you know, because our people were going off. You know, if you go into the things that was actually happening back in that day, you know, you had Gad over here even worshiping other gods, you know. And this is what happened to them with Christopher Columbus was also ultimately the will of the Most High. You know, it was judgment that was to be brought upon them. But it's not going to last forever, you know. Because the scriptures say, 2 Esdras 6 and 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. And Jacob is the progenitor of all the Israelites. So all the Israelite tribes is going to eventually come back on top, just like it was prophesied that Gad shall overcome in the last, you know. And that's going to be the slaughter that's prepared for his children. But let me keep reading this article. It says in 1492, the Spanish sailor Christopher Columbus embarked on what he believed would be a pathway to riches in India. Landing on the shores of America, Columbus did not think twice about what he believed were an inferior people who should be held as slaves, guides, even as dog food for the ongoing exploits, and that shows you how little he thought of us, man. He said that our people should even be dog food, man. And just a side note, if you look at that movie Pocahontas, that briefly touched on that story. When they seen the dog, man, they didn't even know what that was, our people, Keep going. It says, consider these words from Columbus itself. These people are very unskilled in arms. With 50 men, they can all be subjected and made to do all that one wish. Right. So he's saying that we could take advantage. He's saying that they could take advantage, man. So he played us, He made us feel like he was a good person. He made our people put arms down, and then he struck when he seen opportunity, because he as he said out of his own words, that he felt we were unskilled in arms. It says, keep going. It says, doing as he wished, Columbus and his crew brought disease, stole precious resources, and ultimately wiped out many indigenous island tribes, all in the name of claiming this side of the globe as the New World. Columbus' violent ventures served as only the beginning of the future conquest of American Indians and the indigenous people of the Central and South America. And yet, many Americans gladly attended parades throughout this country's cities, wrongly praising the man for his truly wicked deeds. Right, and they still doing that today. The fact that there's a Christopher Columbus Day shows you that these people don't care what happened to our people, man. That shows you that the so-called American people of today, they can't say, "Oh, that wasn't us. That we didn't do that." That we wasn't living back then. But you're still benefiting off of the stolen riches that Christopher Columbus have given you. Because if you truly felt sorry, if you truly didn't want all these atrocities to happen to our people, then you would give it back, man. They put our people under rocks on reservations, man, where you knew they couldn't survive, and you still taking that land today. You don't see that much so-called Native Indians, man. And today, man, millions and millions was slaughtered. And you're still celebrating that day today. I'm gonna read that last part again. It says, doing as he wished, Columbus and his crew brought disease, stolen precious resources, and ultimately wiped out many indigenous island tribes, all in the name of claiming this side of the globe as the New World, right? And they did all these wicked things, and it's being worshipped, man. I grew up learning and thinking that Christopher Columbus discovered America, man. That's what they teach in the schools, in the textbooks, man. They don't touch on what he did, man. They don't touch on him being and it didn't even say even rapist, man. He raped our women, man. They destroyed our people, and he's being celebrated. So what's going to happen is total ratification of his people, man. He's going to be, all of you are going to be destroyed, man. It says Columbus' violent venture served only as the beginning to future conquest of American Indians and the indigenous people of Central and South Americans, and yet many Americans gladly attended parades. It says, and yet many Americans gladly attended parades throughout the country's cities, wrongly praising the man for his wicked deeds. Right. So you are wicked too. You are wicked too, man. It is your fault, man. Anybody say happy Christopher Columbus Day to you, they are wicked, man. It says, why? Perhaps we do not have much to celebrate in this divided country other than sports figures and those who have bravely helped survivors of natural disasters. Salaki. It says, Salaki had a phone call, but it says, who bravely, it says, who bravely helped survivors of natural disasters and deadly attacks, but continuing to honor a man who brought such misery to American Indians only serves to hide the truth about how this country was formed. Right, this country was formed and built off of blood, man. You know, this nation was built off of blood. Let me see if I can find that. This is this is Habakkuk 2 verse 7. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly that they shall bite thee in a weight that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booty unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations, and many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood. Right, you know, and this is what's going to come unto the unrighteous, man. This is going to happen to the unrighteous. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations. Right, you have spoiled many nations. It says, all the remnant of people shall be spoiled because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land and of the city and of all that the world therein. Right, you know, because this blood was this city was built on so much blood, man, on the bloods of the back of the Israelites, man, and all of this is going to turn back onto you. It's all going to turn back onto you, man, because this is how this country, this nation was born, man. It says on Columbus Day this year of October 9th, it is important to remember this nation's history of stealing Indian land and subjugating native people to reservations. In fact, the propensity for dehumanizing native people is ongoing. Right, it's still happening today. It says, from proudly displaying degrading Indians as savage sports mascots to exploiting Indian land for oil and other natural resources, you cannot convince me that the spirit of Christopher Columbus is no longer with us. Right, and this and these people know that, man. These people know that the spirit of Christopher Columbus, that wicked spirit, that pure hatred spirit of of our people as a whole, is still here, man, and it's not going nowhere. Because why? Job 9:24, the world was given into the hand of the wicked. You know, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. You know, the world is given into the so-called white man's hand, which is Esau, Edom, according to the scriptures, man. And as we read earlier, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Let me finish on this, because we're gonna get the last laugh, man. We're gonna get the last laugh. It's okay. Y'all think y'all did y'all thing, man. This is Isaiah 14:1. It says, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, in our own land. And this land not gonna be taken from us. It says, and strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Right, and this a strangers shall be joined with us. That's the rest of our nations, man. That's the people who don't know who they are, man. You know, our strangers is the Israelites who don't know they Israelites because of the wickedness that you did to them, man. You know, taking away our nationality, man. Verse 2, it says, and the people shall take them and bring them in their place, and their house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Right. So the spirit of Christopher Columbus is going to come back, man, and that spirit is going to get it, man. And all of you that is his children is going to get it, man. So Lord, as well, I entitled this video "Prepare Slaughter for His Children," man. Prepare slaughter for the children of Christopher Columbus. Prepare slaughter for the children of the elite, man. All of you going to get it, man. You know, and you know, with that, you know, fuck Christopher Columbus Day. And I want to say, call Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakah Kodash. You know, La Yasha Allah, meaning rise Israel. You know, I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders up at Great Millstone who rule well, and a sincere peace and salutation to all the Akim that's pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Okay, Shalom.